Give it up for Carmen Lounge! Oh, God. Yeah, everyone's drinking, having a good time. I'm wearing my superhero sweatshirt. Any superhero fans out there? Wow, this joke will go over great then. I'm a fan of superheroes. They inspire me. Sometimes I ask myself, whenever I have a problem, what would Superman do? And I throw my problem into the sun. If I have a second problem, I ask myself, what would Batman do? And I punch out a mentally ill patient, call it justice. If I have a third problem, I ask myself, what would Aquaman do? And I go home. Because I'm Jason Momoa. I don't need this shit. Fucking Khal Drogo. If you like any of those jokes or anything else, I encourage you to whip out your phones and follow me on Twitter at Erik W. Barnes. Please follow me on Twitter because my Twitter account's a lot like Jesus. My followers consist of 12 dudes, a hooker, and my mom. I say that joke because I am a Christian. No, don't worry. I'm not going to proselytize to you. You know the story. And I don't think you're going to go to hell or anything like that because I view Jesus the same way the world views Dave Matthews. I love the man, I love the message, don't really care for the fan base. And the people that cover his material tend to suck at it. But yeah, it's serious. I think the main problem with my faith is the Bible. Not necessarily the Bible itself, but how people read it. Because many Christians, they tend to read the Bible as if it was one book. And it's not one book. It is a book of books. It is an omnibus, which means it was written by different authors from different generations with different agendas and different perspectives about this concept that we have dubbed God. It has poetry, it has history, it has all kinds of stuff. It has parables, it has stories, and so on and so forth. And it's sort of like, you know, picture this. And there's different things to draw from. It's kind of like if I had the Vampire Omnibus, right? And in the Vampire Omnibus contained Bram Stoker's Dracula, Twilight, the Castlevania Strategy Guide, the script of Blade 2, but not Blade 1 because Constantine omitted that. And that's the deal. So whenever I read the Bible and there's like the two verses that say homosexuality is an abomination, and there are 310 references of loving one another regardless, I treat it the same way as a vampire fan treats the 1 or 2 or 3 entries in which Edward, the vampire from Twilight, sparkles in the daylight, and the thousands of references in which vampires burn to dust in the daylight. Okay? I guess my overall point is, if you need an overall point in that analogy, it's that Jesus is Dracula. Come on, it just makes sense. They were both obsessed with blood, and both of them don't really care for the crucifix that much. And neither one of them have power over you unless you invite them in. That's my deep-cut vampire joke, folks. But thank you so much. And I'm friends with a lot of atheists because, well, I like smart people. But the main problem I have is, you know, believe whatever you want, but just ardent anger and gun-hosmanship and evangelical thought behind whether you believe in God or not, that's the main problem that I have. And many do. And you see that in a lot of modern atheists as well. Not just the Bible thumpers. Like, for example, I was out with a very good atheist friend of mine, and he holds a door open for an old woman because he's nice. He's a nice man doing a nice thing for a person that needed help. And the old woman just looks up at him and goes, "Oh, God bless you." My friend got mad. I'm like, "Dude, what's the problem?" And he goes, "God doesn't exist." Really? Okay. Listen. Batman's not real. But if any one of you were to walk up to me and say, "Hey man, may the Dark Knight protect you," I'd be ecstatic. Thank you, Gotham citizen. And that's the thing, is like, well, she was just being nice. What's the deal? God doesn't exist. That's the cold reality. If cold reality is your basis for day-to-day pleasantries, where does it end for you? Hey man, God bless you. God doesn't exist! Okay, I wish you well. Wishes are for people too lazy to accomplish their own goals. All right, have a good day. Good is a morally relative concept that evolves and changes over time and culture. All right. Have a safe day? Safety is never guaranteed. Injury and death can't be stopped, only delayed. Fuck Because if I can't say something nice, the only choice I have is to say something mean nicely. Oh. So, I'm a big dude. I know. I'm big and tall, and I hate big and tall shops because it's never big and tall, it's big or tall. And that's a problem. I have to go on the internet special to find shirts like these that fit me that have things like, pro wrestling or, superheroes and stuff I like. Because every big and tall shop, if I were to get a graphic tee with a cool cartoon, it's some version of, look how big this guy is! It's always like, big dog gear! And it's a Rottweiler with 9 hamburgers going, Argh! Or it's Gorilla Jim, XXX style, and it's a gorilla like straining to do like just curls. Or it's freight train coming through, and it's a locomotive taking insulin. It's bad. It's awful. We're just people, okay? We can be people like you, all right? We're just you, but zoomed in, okay? That's what we are. Oh, fuck. God, oh. Let's go to the hamburger store. Let's go to the hamburger store. Hey man, let's go to the hamburger store. I said that out loud to a friend in public. Let's go to the hamburger store. Let's go to... A 4-year-old says that. That's what a 4-year-old says. Hi, Mommy. Could we go to the hamburger store? It's cute, right? Cute when a 4-year-old says it. I'm not 4 years old. I'm in my 30s. Let's go to the hamburger store. It's bad enough I didn't say, let's go to McDonald's, let's go to Five Guys, let's go to In-N-Out Burger. I didn't even say, let's go to the hamburger restaurant, which is something an alien says when they want to blend in with humanity. Do you want to go to the hamburger store? I'm from Oakland. It makes me wonder, when I get older, what other words are going to fall out of my brain and what other words I'm going to use to replace them. Like 5 years from now, a friend of mine will be like, hey, Eric, how'd your date go? And I go, well, me and the non-penis person went to the caffeine depository where we had 2 cups of hot brown and some chocolate chip sugar bread. But we were late for our appointment at the Fast Picture Story House. But we arrived in time to get a seat way in the not front. But it's all right because we proceeded to mouth hug throughout the entire photo narrative. And later on, we went over to her bed keep, where we fucked. And afterward, I was getting famished, and it was late in the anti-morning. And the only thing that was open was a 24-hour drive-through hamburger store. Before I leave, any video game fans out there?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. I love video games. Video games are getting more and more realistic, right?
Oh, yeah.
They're getting more and more real. Have you guys ever played, I played the most realistic video game of all time. Have you guys ever played Pac-Man? Oh, some of you don't know. In Pac-Man, it's the most realistic video game of all time. In Pac-Man, you have to run from the ghosts of your past. You're constantly moving, constantly running. You gotta keep going, gotta keep running. You can't face them, otherwise you'll die. So you gotta keep moving, you gotta keep running, you gotta keep eating, you gotta keep consuming, you gotta consume and eat, consume and eat. Keep moving, don't look back, don't ever look back. The only time you can look back is if you have pills. If you have pills, you have enough strength and courage to face the ghosts of your past. They go away and you feel invincible and alive. But the pills don't last. They never last. And nothing ever lasts. And you just keep going because and as soon as you think you have progress and everything is done, it feels like you're starting all over again. And you just keep going and it just doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop until you're dead. Whip, whip. Thank you very much, everybody. I've been Erik Barnes.